comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? It's DK Wrestler here from a Funko Popcast, and in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Monsters Inc. Funko Pop. But before that happens, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, let's check it out. So like I said, in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Monsters Inc. Funko Pop. Now for this video today, I'm not just including Monsters Inc. Funko Pops, but I'm also going to be including Funko Pops from the other, I guess, Monsters lineup, I'm going to call it, which will also include Monsters University and will include the two Pops in the Monsters at Work lineup. Now, there are some Funko Pops that won't be included in this video, which I can't think of exactly all of the Pops. I think for some reason, it's just the Alien Remix Pops that Funko had made, where it's essentially Alien from Toy Story dressed up as certain Pixar characters, which I don't think that's going to be involved in this video because of the fact that it's simply not in the Monsters Inc. movie. So without further ado, let's rank every Monsters Inc. Funko Pop.
Alrighty guys, so here is every Monsters Inc. Funko Pop from what we have explained, not including the Alien Remix Pops, but the categories for this Tiermaker list from worst to best are Sent to the Himalayas, Could Have Been Better, Not Bad, Really Good, and the top tier being Top Scarer. So without further ado, we'll begin with the very first Sully Funko Pop, which I'm actually going to put this in not bad. For the time that it was made in 2011, when the Disney Pops were first made by Funko, this was a pretty decent pop, but then of course you see over time of how great Sully has become in terms to a sculpt, but for at the time, it was not bad of a figure. The flocked variant that was limited to 480 pieces from San Diego Comic-Con that year will go in front of that Sully, the common, because simply a flocked variant of Sully is obviously better than just a normal variant. If you had to choose between one or the other, then obviously you would probably choose the flocked variant over the normal variant. Then we have ourselves Mike Wazowski, which I'm going to put this, you know what? I'm going to put it in front of Sully, just because there's not really much you can do with Mike Wazowski, and it actually isn't that bad of a pop. I mean, you had to have the eye the way it is, not like a normal pop eye, just because he already has one eye as it is. So it wouldn't really make sense, in my opinion, just to have the normal black dot. But for what it is, it's not that bad. Then we have the glow-in-the-dark variant of Mike Wazowski, which I'm actually going to put this one right... I'm just going to put it in between the two Sullys, just because I like the flock variant of Sully better than the glow-in-the-dark Mike Wazowski, but I do think because the color is green for Mike Wazowski that it probably gives off a very great glow, and I would like that better than the Sully common variant. Then we have ourselves George Sanderson, which I'm going to put this under really good. I really like the character of George Sanderson. Even though he's kind of like a background character, he's not really like a main character. He's one of those memorable characters, especially when the CDA comes in and he shaves him because of the sock and the code 2319. I think what throws me off about this is the fact that this pop has white eyes, yet the box advertises that it has black eyes, but overall it's still cool for a pop and the Monsters Inc. lineup. Then we have Boo in the monster outfit, the original one, which I'll put this behind George Sanderson. I have more of a soft spot for George Sanderson, so that's why it is ahead of Boo in really good, although it's still a great looking pop, and I'm sure a lot of people still want this pop, even though it's pretty pricey on the secondary market. Then we have the pop minis of Sully and Mike Wazowski, which I'm going to put this under Could Have Been Better. I mean, you already have the normal Mike Wazowski and the normal Sully, and to make it a pop mini form, it's like, did it really need to happen? I mean, if you wanted some sort of 2-pack with them instead of getting the singular pops, then yeah, cool. But let's say you already had the 2 single pops beforehand, I don't think it's necessary to get the Pop Minis 2-packs. Then we have ourselves the 9-inch metallic Sully with Boo. I'm going to put this in between the George Sanderson and the unmasked Boo, or unhooded Boo, I should say. It's really cool to have Boo and Sully together because, of course, that is a huge, crucial part of Monsters, Inc. It's a 9-inch figure for Sully, so it definitely makes sense because he is a big monster, so kind of like the size more accurate accurate, even though I don't think 9 inches to 4 inches to a normal character would be, I guess, totally accurate. But I mean, as terms to Sully and Boo, then yes, I think the 9 inch to the 4 inch ratio does make sense. And it's really cool that they made this. Then we have the Monsters University Mike Wazowski with the books, which I'm going to put this in front of the normal Mike Wazowski in not bad. Reason being is there is more things going on with this Mike Wazowski pop. You got the hat, you got the textbooks. I think it's cool that he has an object in his hand, unlike the original one. Actually, now as I think about it, I'll put it at, I'll put it at the end of real good. Just because the other one is not bad, and this one I would say is really good, but like could go back to not bad realistically. Like it has to be probably at the end of really good for what I've basically said. Then we have the metallic Mike Wazowski from Monsters University, and I'm going to put this under could have been better. And I do have a reason for that, but I'm actually going to explain it later on. Then we got ourselves Sully with the Uzma Kappa jersey, which I'm going to put this actually, you know what? I'll put it behind Mike Wazowski and really good. I think it's a really good pop compared to the original one. You can totally see the starting of the evolution of how Sully pops look as we get through this ranking video. And I think this was a really good pop for the time being. It's got the Uzma Kappa jersey on, but I felt like it could have been doing more to go higher up on this list, maybe up to top scare. But for right now, it's at the end of really good. Then we have ourselves the metallic variant of Sully for Monsters University, and this is going to be the one and only pop under Sent to the Himalayas. Now, I do have a reasoning behind this, and this goes along with the Mike Wazowski. Now, Mike Wazowski, the metallic variant, could have went also under Sent to the Himalayas, but the reason I put it under could have been better is not because of the fact, or not just because of the fact that it is metallic, but they actually changed the hand positioning between the more common variant and the metallic variant that went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2013, because Mike Wazowski is waving in this metallic variant and he's not waving in the common, which is why maybe this could be a little bit of a money grab to get, because it is a slightly different pose, unlike the Sully that you have here for the metallic variant, which is the same exact pose as the more common variant of Sully with the Uzma Kappa jersey. The metallic blue looks a little weird, and same with the green for the jersey. So that's why it's under Sent to the Himalayas. We could have gotten a different character for Monsters University instead of getting essentially both of the metallic variants realistically. Then we got ourselves Randall Boggs for the Monsters University lineup, and I'm actually going to put this at the beginning of really good. I think this is a solid Funko Pop for the lineup, and it's still weird to this day that we haven't gotten an actual Randall for the Monsters Inc. lineup, and we've only gotten it for essentially Monsters University, and if you count the two variants for Alien Remix. But just having a normal Randall Boggs for Monsters Inc. still needs to happen, which if that was the case, I think that would have been the first pop added to Top Scare. But overall, it's still really good for the Monsters University lineup. And in my opinion, it probably is the best pop in the Monsters University lineup. Then we have the Sully for the 2018 wave of Monsters Inc. pops. And I'm going to put this in front of the 9-inch Sully. I think it's a really cool Sully, and they really updated the mold. I just don't really like how they made the mouth for this, in my opinion, but overall, I'm glad they went with a different posing and updated the horns a little bit for this pop. Then we have the flocked variant of Sully, which I will actually put this in front of George Sanderson. Then we have ourselves the casual Boo, as I'm going to call it, and I'm going to put this right in front of that Sully in really good. I think it's a really good Monsters Inc. pop. I think it's a pop we needed for the set, especially if you didn't have your hands on that original Boo, or in this case also if you already had that version of Boo and now there's another version that you can get that's the complete opposite instead of having the monster outfit. I think it's really cool they did that. Then we have ourselves Roz, which this will indeed be the first pop added to the Top Scarer section of this ranking list. This is such an amazing Monsters Inc. pop. I love the amount of detail put into this Monsters Inc. pop, with the detail of kind of the squinted eyes and how you have the pop eyes, but it's got the color of her, I don't want to say skin. Is it skin? Maybe scale. No, I'm going to say skin for right now because I'm a little unconfident on what I should call it. But you have essentially the eye, and then you have the black line to kind of show that her eyes are kind of closed, because they do look like they're kind of closed throughout the movie. You have the spiky hair, you have the glasses, you have the puckered lips, the clipboard, and just her outfit overall. Such an amazing pop. So glad that Funko had done this pop at this time. Then we got ourselves Chef, which I'm going to put this in front of the Sully in really good, mainly because of the detail. I know it's a really weird character to add to this lineup, and we could have had, let's say for an example, a normal Randall for Monsters Inc. instead of having Chef, but it's still cool that we have this kind of character, even as a common, because this character seems like it could have been a character that Funko could have made into a Comic-Con exclusive, maybe a limited piece Comic-Con exclusive, but they made it as a common. Then we have ourselves the Vampire Sully from the Pixar's Collector's Box, which I'll put this in front of the Sully and behind the Chef, mainly because I love the facial expression involved with this Sully pop. I don't really like the idea that they just made a Sully in a vampire outfit to kind of fit the Halloween theme, and it doesn't really go with the Monsters Inc. movie, but it's really cool that they added this facial expression with Sully. It probably is, in my opinion, the best head mold and facial expression on any of the Sully pops that Funko has released thus far. I think it would have been a top scare pop had it been a normal Sully involved in the movie and not just Sully dressed up in a vampire costume for Halloween. Then we have ourselves Boo for the brand new 20th anniversary lineup in the monster outfit. This is going to go on top scare. This pop is great. I love that they basically capitalized on the fact they made the Boo, the original one at least, in the monster outfit, but this one actually has the hood, and I feel like more people like when Boo has the hood over her head and you see kind of those big eyes on the costume when she's disguised as the monster, besides not having the hood on. I mean, I'm sure people have their preferences, but it's a lot more detail when you have that hood up, which is why I think it is top scare, and I think this one will sell very well in that set. Then we have Celia, which I'm going to put this right behind Boo in really good. I think this is a character that a lot of people, like myself included, really wanted for this Monsters Inc. lineup, and I think they did a solid job. There is a few gripes, like I always wish that when it comes to little things, like example, the snake hair on Celia, where it should have white eyes and then maybe a black dot, and they could pull that off with just that, even though I know that obviously the normal Funko Pop eyes are just a solid black color, which is what they went with the snake. But I felt like in this case, they should have had the white eyes and then the black dot, or even have white eyes overall, because already Celia has the solid black eye as terms to her Funko Pop figure. But overall, still pretty cool. Then we have ourselves the Mike Wazowski with the oven mitts for the 20th anniversary lineup also. I'm going to put this behind Randall. I thought about having this kick off really good, but I love the detail involved. You have kind of like the what looks to be the strainer. I can't really tell because the photo is so small from when I'm looking at it. The essentially scuba feet, the oven mitts. I think the snorkel is there also, and it has a mouth, which I love the fact that they added a mouth to this Funko Pop, because Mike Wazowski has one eye and he can't really make so many facial expressions with just the one eye. So having the mouth on the Mike Wazowski Pop is such a huge bonus, especially involved in the scene that this Funko Pop is trying to intimidate. And I think they did a solid job. What would have made it top scare is if we finally gotten some sort of Mike Wazowski pop where he has the hard hat on. I think when they do that, that'll probably be a top scare ranked Monsters Inc. pop for Mike Wazowski. Then we have ourselves Sully with the trash lid, the common variant, which I am going to put this in front of the common 2018 version. I think there is a lot of detail involved with this, especially with the facial expression. You have kind of the strainer on the top of the head and the trash lid, which I think is really awesome. It goes hand in hand with that Mike Wazowski pop that I just talked about. Then the flocked variant going to Amazon for this Sully pop is going to go right in front of the flocked Toys R Us version of the 2018 version, just because I like the facial expression. Once again, it's flocked, but I think the facial expression once again is better as terms to the Vampire Sully for the Halloween Pixar box, unlike this flocked variant of Sully. Then we have ourselves Sully with Boo, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive. And this is going to go right behind the Mike Wazowski. I think this indeed, in my opinion, so far is the best Sully pop we've gotten. You got a bit of a 2-for-1 pop and buddy dealio there with Sully. It's got a nice facial expression. You got Boo doing a facial expression also with her tongue sticking out in the scene where they're in the Chinese restaurant. And it's great for people who never obtained the 9-inch variant of Sully back in the day with Boo. And now you have a 4-inch variant of Sully right here with Boo at a more affordable price. Now we have the Yeti, which I'm going to put this in front of, oh God, what am I putting this in front of? I'll put it in between Mike and Sully. Reason being is because I like the facial expression involved with Mike Wazowski. It's been so long since we've had a Mike Wazowski pop, unlike the Sully, which we've seen so many variants of Sully, as you can see in this video. And this is the first ever Yeti pop, so it's cool we finally get Yeti, especially with the snow cones. And as terms to the Hot Topic exclusive scented version, that will go in front of it because I think it is a genius idea for Funko to do a scented version so that you get that lemon scent as terms to the snow cones. Then essentially, last but not least for this ranking video will be the 2 pops so far as I'm recording this that have been released for Monsters at Work, the Disney Plus series, which we got ourselves Tyler Tuskman and Val Little, which I think Tyler Tuskman, if I can put Tyler Tuskman somewhere on this list, I will probably put him in front of Chef in really good. I think it's a really solid pop. It's got a simplistic pose, but I think that's all it needs to be. I think it could potentially kick off like the top portion of really good if possibly they made a variant of Tyler Tuskman in the future with the donuts on his horns. But other than that, I think it's at the right spot it needs to be, in my opinion. And then Val Little, I think Val is going to be ranked a little more down on the list, but I still think really good. Or, wow, I don't know how to rank this. I'll put her behind George Sanderson. I think that's a safe spot for me. I think it's pretty decent. I think, once again, in this case, what could make this pop go much higher on this list if it was a flocked variant. I think making it a flocked variant would definitely boost this up the list, possibly even beside Tyler Tuskman, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that is the end of this ranking video of every Monsters, Inc. Funko Pop. Hopefully, there definitely has to be more in the future. There's so many different characters that they still have yet to make, instead of continually making a bunch of Sully variants and then once in a while bringing a new character. I would love to see some of those characters that people really want, such as an actual Monsters, Inc. version of Randall instead of having just the Monsters University version.
Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's ranking video on every Monsters, Inc. Funko Pop, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let me know, do you agree or disagree with my ranking list? And like I said earlier, press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.